Somebody commented in my Patreon about a narcissist in their life and why this person keeps coming back and doing the things that they do, like following them in different accounts. And they're also asking about things going on in like their career and their mission and their purpose. And I know so many people out there ask me these questions, and so many people out there are dealing with these types of situations where they've got karmic people in the past. They've dealt with narcissists. If you're a follower of mine, or you did my twin flame readings, or you're a healer or whatever, or you've resonated with me on some degree, it's most likely that you've dealt with some of these things and that you struggle with some of these concepts. So it's a 30-minute response, first of all, that I didn't realize was going to become a 30-minute response. I literally was just like, let me record this, because there was a big message from that person that I wanted to be like, this is why he's doing that, because it's easier to say than to type. But I feel like other people may need to hear that part, and if not, you may need to hear the part about showing up to a job every fucking single day that you don't like, and knowing that that's not the place for you to be, and what to do about that, so that you don't have to continue to do that for the rest of your life. And if you want to hear it, you can hear it. If you don't have to. But I felt like there's a lot of people out there that could benefit from that. And if you want to join Patreon, she's in the $5.55 a month tier. I just did a Starseed update today, and that was the comment on that video, because it triggered some stuff inside of them to be like, wow, like this is what is going on inside of me. And other people in there like, my life is changing in a better way. Other people in there like, wow, this activation, which is in the 1111 tier, was really powerful for them. And I sent it to someone else, and they were like, oh my god, that was awesome. And somebody else purchased it and was like, this is great. Somebody else just did an activation, the Lara Triple Infinity, which I made years ago. Throat was vibrating. So the things work, they are there. And in this video I was talking to her about like placing value on herself, because she lives in a part of the world where like $5 is a lot of money. Like US dollars is a lot more money there than it is here. And I was like, you got to keep that in mind. Like if you are, you know, marketing to people in the US and you're only saying $5, they may not value it as much as it does have value. And then I was like, I need to take my own fucking advice, because I'm doing the same stupid shit. I'm only like charging $5, $10, $20 just so I can fucking survive, because I lost everything after I got so fucking sick and doing shit, which we're discussing here. But I need to take my own advice too. We need to place a higher value on ourselves so that people recognize that, wow, there is value in what that person's offering. There is something of substance to have there. Sometimes people don't realize that because they've never connected with you before. They've never seen what you do. They don't know that other people are having vibrations and things and experiences and life-changing results. And there's so many people out there who are lying, and there's so many people out there who are manipulating and promising the world and delivering nothing, when there's others of us out here that are delivering a lot for asking for very little. So we need to shift those things, and hopefully this will help somebody. Hey there, I figured it'd be easier for me to do this because I kind of want to touch on what you're asking here, and I feel like other people may benefit to hear this message in terms of the ex that started following you on LinkedIn. LinkedIn of all places. Am I always going to be blocking him from somewhere? Okay, so in terms of that, when you're dealing with a narcissist, which I know for sure this motherfucker is a narcissist, this person has been extremely toxic in this individual's life that has asked this. And when it comes to narcissist, and you can go follow like people out there who have been like, they're self-aware narcissists. They've been given that diagnosis. They know for sure that they are a narcissist, and they will even create videos to let you know answers to the questions like this. Like, why do they keep doing this type of stuff? Why do they do XYZ? And in this case, where they're following you in all of these places because you've blocked them in others, narcissists feel like they own you. They own you. They don't love you. They don't care about you. They don't even like you. They own you. And so in their mind, for the rest of their life, you belong to them. And when they get reminded of you, or they're bored, or they have like run out of a new supply, because that's all you are, is a supply to them. You supply them by your upsetness. When you get upset, when you get triggered, or even just by dealing with them or appeasing them, giving them any form of attention in either way, negative or positive, it feeds them. The best way to get rid of a narcissist is to starve them to death by not paying any mind, any attention, or giving any feedback to them in any way whatsoever, because they will find other people to feed on. They will find other distractions. They will find other people that they believe belong to them. That's why when that ex of mine that I had not seen in fucking 16 years, dude, was gone out of my life. They had arrested him. They took him out. I disappeared. Didn't hear nothing from the motherfucker for fucking years. But he happened to see a post that my sister commented on and got reminded of me. And then went and looked at me and saw that, oh, her life looks really going well now. She's doing really good. That belongs to me. So here I come full fucking force to follow you in all the places, get blocked in all the places, and then make new accounts to follow you again, harass you, not take no for an answer. Had the cops called several hundred times to the point where they went to jail for months and stayed in jail for months. Had a fucking bracelet on them, house arrest, on probation, and then came back again after all of that and tried to message while they had a live-in girlfriend and 2 kids. They were living with their girlfriend and their kids, messaging me, I'm in love with you, blah, 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 blah. Even their girlfriend had messaged me at one point at night when they were like, do you know where he is? No, I don't know where the fuck he is. I'm not answering his messages. I'm blocking him everywhere. I've called the cops on him. I've sent him to jail. I don't want anything to do with it. And the fact that she was like that is an easy target for them. So they have people like that in their life that will sit at home and let them do their fucked up shit and feed on other people and cheat on them and lie to them and manipulate them and come and go. And as soon as that person that they're with starts to be like, you know what, fuck you, I'm done with this, I don't want to be with you, you're an asshole, they will love bomb them again and be like, I'm so madly in love with you, I want to be with you forever, I'm so sorry, I'll never do this, I'll never do that, let's go to counseling, let's do all these things together, let's make it right, I can't live without you. And they're going to say all the things that they know that you've wanted to hear. They're going to go back to being the person that they pretended to be in the beginning, because that's what they do. They pretend to love you. They love bomb you. They act like a amazing one in a lifetime type of a connection, oh my god, and they mirror you. They pretend. They will study you to figure out, like, oh, she's into spiritual stuff, so I'm going to be into spiritual stuff. Oh, she's into this, I'm going to be into that, and I'm going to mirror her so perfectly that she has no choice but to think that, like, we're meant to be, that this person and I are so much alike. But once they've got you wrapped back in and they have you in their little, like, device and they think that they got you where they want you, that's when they're gonna fucking do the Jekyll and Hyde shit again, and the mask comes off and they start acting like a fool. They go and do toxic ass shit and they do the discarding process, which is literally how they get you addicted, because you're still waiting for that first version of that person that you met, or that second version of them when they showed back up and pretended to be nice again, because they bounce back and forth depending upon what you're giving to them for energy. If you're pulling away and you're telling them to go fuck off, they're going to put on the nice face and try to trick you and rail you back into their manipulative tactics. And once they get you back in, they're going to discard you again. And what that does inside of you is send you on a motherfucking roller coaster ride of different hormones and different chemicals in your brain. And you literally get addicted to the highs and the lows. So like anybody out there in the world that's somewhat healthy and normal, that's not going to play those fucking mind games with you, that's not going to love bomb you, that's not going to discard you and send you through these hoops, feels boring and it feels foreign and it feels like, oh, this is like, it's not as intense. So a lot of people get put into the cycles of repeating that and finding more narcissists that they deal with to different degrees. But they heal over time and they start to realize this. They learn these things, they see these signs, and then they're like, okay, is it instantly? Is it overnight? No. Is it going to take time? Yes. Is he probably always going to be poking his head around? Maybe, but it's also dependent on you. Like, him showing up in your LinkedIn is because you've blocked him in other places. Block him there. Do not pay any attention to him. Do not feed him any energy. But the fact that it bothers you is a trigger, which I talked about last night in the Reiki 2. It's an emotional trigger. It brings something up inside of you. And usually if we're attracting narcissists on a romantic level, it's because we've dealt with them in some other form growing up. Maybe our parents were a little narcissistic or a little toxic in the way that they loved us. Maybe they discarded our feelings. They discarded our value. They didn't teach us that we're valuable and we're worthy and we're great, right? Maybe they did that because they're messed up, and it's just a cycle that's gone on and on and on. It can be like your culture. It can be, you know, just in your family inheritance of ideas and the way that people are. People do what they know, and people go to what feels familiar. They don't go to what's good for them, and they can't exhibit what they don't know. So this is your opportunity to recognize all these things and break all these cycles so that you don't continue to do this in your life, so that you don't continue to attract these types of people in or get mixed up with them, or God forbid have a fucking child with them. Because if you have a child with a narcissist, that kid is also going to go through those fucking cycles, because narcissists are horrible with their kids. They have like a favorite kid and a not favorite kid, but even the favorite kid gets fucked with and mentally manipulated. There's so many so many people out there in the public that you can see, like the one of the famous ones is the guy that like murdered his whole family, Murdaugh there. He was a like prominent lawyer in the Carolinas, and he murdered his wife and his son, but the other son is still alive. That's his oldest son. That's his golden child. But that kid is messed up from being his golden child, and that kid knows that his dad's a manipulating liar, and that kid is dealing with all the trauma of that, but that kid also exhibits some of the narcissistic tendencies that he learned from his dad, because that's all he's known his whole life. That's all he's been around. But he is better than his dad. Like, you can see that he cares a little bit more. He has more empathy. He's trying, so he's breaking the cycle. But if he acts like that and behaves like that and doesn't heal all that and gets with somebody else and makes a baby and raises that child the way he was raised, because that's all he knows, then we keep repeating these cycles. But we can like weed it out over time. So for you, when you get triggered by the fact that he's showing up, he's winning. He's feeding off of that energy. Whether or not you're paying mind to him or not, the fact that it's stirred something up in you, he knows it is. Like, he's getting a kick from it. Like, oh, you're going to block me over here? Then I'll follow you over here. Oh, you're going to block me here? Then I'll make a new account. To get under your skin, to get a rise out of you, to get an action out of you, so that you fucking are back down and feeling low. And a lot of times it's like they have like a fucking magnet on them. They know when you're doing good. They know when you're pulling away. They know when you're talking to someone else. They know when things are going well. And they're going to come back in because you belong to them, and you shouldn't be happy out there without them. They don't want you, but they don't want anyone else to have you, and they don't want you to be happy. So that's what that is. I feel like over time, it will become less and less. Like I said, I went for 16 years of that motherfucker never bothering me. Then he came back full force for a long time, fucking blew everything up. My business fucking failed. I got extremely sick. Things went down fucking fast. And then he disappeared again. He popped up again one more time. But like, I was like, I'm calling the fucking cops, and he doesn't want to go back to jail. So it's like, if we have strong enough boundaries, if we let these motherfuckers know that we're not fucking around and we're not going to entertain, then and we're not going to react in the, oh my god, I don't want to post it, because that's what happened. I didn't want to be seen anymore. I had an appointment to go get a breast implant thing done, and because he was showing up like a psychopath, I never went and did it, because I was like, oh no, I don't want anybody to look at me. I stopped making videos regularly. I stopped posting about twin flame stuff, because he was putting himself into the twin flame label, even though it had nothing to do with him. He was trying to put himself into that role as the divine masculine. No. But what did that do? It triggered the fuck out of me, because I had unhealed trauma from all the times that he beat the shit out of me, and all the times that he manipulated me and lied to me when I was a 15-year-old little girl and he was a 20-year-old man. So over time, I've healed it. I've recognized it. It doesn't bother me like it did. I don't react like I did, but I'm still recovering from it. And as you recover, you'll get stronger from it, and you'll recognize it, and hopefully he will find someone else or something else to do. Hopefully he'll become a self-aware narcissist and stop doing it to people, because some of them do go through healing and counseling, but that doesn't matter. He's never going to be right for you. He's never going to be able to right the wrongs. He's never going to fix who he is in the terms of what's happened between the two of you. So just keep blocking, keep ignoring, and don't let it bother you, but also acknowledge, where is this really coming from? Is it past lives? Is it my parents? Is it my ancestors? Like, let me figure out what's under the surface that keeps this shit keep coming up. And then there's a guy at work who absolutely hates me. He doesn't say it out loud, and he is very subtle about it, but I know he's resentful, and I don't know what I did to piss him off. I know I need to walk away from this place. The other day I asked the universe to show me 881 if leaving was the right course of action. the truck right in front of me, like 1 second later, had the number plate with the same digits. This has been happening for a month now. I just don't know how. The issue is not with the people, but the work is not a good fit. I hate working on ads all day, every day, and I don't do well with stress. But I don't know what I'm good at either. I write sometimes, but what if I suck at that too? I'm too sensitive to work in corporate settings. I don't like playing politics. I don't like the need. I think everyone has to feel better than other people. It's survival instinct for money. People fear losing their job and need to feel good about themselves to survive. I know that. But I just don't want to get involved. It impacts my mental health and it's no good for depression. No matter what company I join, I'm always going to leave them. I'm always going to have to leave. The problem isn't them, it's me. Sometimes I feel that I should just die and make things easier, but that's pointless too. So right here, I'm going to say the same thing I've said to you the last several times that we've discussed about this, and the last several times you've got readings about this, and the last several times that this cycle has repeated. You need to listen to yourself. You're answering your own question in the question. Your answer is here. No matter what company I join, I'm always going to have to leave. You're speaking that into existence, first of all. You believe that, so that's what you're going to create. That's what you're expecting. That's what you're going to want. That's what you're going to manifest. We don't know that every single company out there would have that be the case. We can't know that. But if you believe that, you're going to see that regardless. And maybe there is a company out there that is a good fit for you, but maybe not. Maybe this is your soul telling you that no, this isn't the right place. Think about the happiest time that you were when you were working. I remember when you were on Fiverr and you were doing writing gigs and it was working out and you were getting 5-star reviews, and it was before that little fucking asshole came back around to fuck with you and blew it up and you stopped doing it. That seemed to be like a time that you were actually happy for a consistent amount of time. You didn't fucking fall back down the hole of, oh my God, I'm sad and everything's working bad and blah, right? And that doesn't help. That mindset, which is not your fault that you're in that mindset is a result of going against your intuition and what your actual soul is calling you to do. You are an infinite being and there's so many potentials here for you to do what you want to do, but you also have something inside of you that you've had inside of you since I met you, where you have felt this push and this stress and this rush to figure it out fast. That is conditioning from your society, that's conditioning from your parents, and that is conditioning from our culture of people who think that you're supposed to go through your school and then by 18 know what you're going to do for the rest of your life. You go to college, you figure it out, and that's just what you do. But there's billions of people in this world that go through that process and they sign up to something that they think that they want to do, or they follow the footsteps because dad was a doctor and dad's dad was a doctor and dad's dad was a doctor. So they go through the whole fucking shit show. They waste all that fucking money and they go show up to be a doctor and they fucking can't stand it. But it's up to them as an individual to choose, am I going to stay here and be miserable and keep showing up because my dad did it and his dad did it, and then am I going to force my fucking kid to do it because I had to do it like they did to me? Or am I going to follow the call inside and say, no, I'm not going to do this. I don't care if it's a cut in my money. I don't care if it takes me a little while to actually even figure out what I do feel like doing, but I'm not going to entertain something that makes me miserable. That's the big problem in our world, is so many people are settling with misery because they think that that's more important, to have the paycheck or to have the degree with some special fucking little name on it, or to go to some special place that has a big label on it that makes it important. You're important regardless. You can be a fucking cashier and be just as important as somebody that is working as a doctor. You can be just as important as anybody, anywhere, anytime. You're making a difference when you're feeling aligned and happy. Some people really do like to be a cashier. They get joy in it. They like serving people food, or they like helping people find things. Some people really get a kick out of working at a pet store. I liked working at a pet store when I was younger. I enjoyed it and I excelled at it. I started as cashier, then I became the head of the fish department, then I became a manager. And then I went to another place and I did the same thing there. And then I went to another place and I was working there. And it was like, and I learned about birds and I learned about this. And I enjoyed it and I liked it for that time being. But then when I got older, I ended up being called to this stuff, which I never thought I would. I never thought ever once in my life that I would be a healer or a Reiki person or a spiritual person. I didn't even know what fucking Reiki was back before 2010 or 9. And then when I had my awakening, I was like, oh, what is this stuff? 2014 to the day today, I got my Reiki 1 certification. And That was a decade ago, and I'm still exploring, I'm still growing, I'm still evolving, I'm still incorporating new things, and I like what I do because I don't have to do the same fucking thing day in and day out. I should have consistency. If I was a little bit more consistent with things and stuck with things through, I would probably be a lot more lucrative, because like when I was being very consistent, like, oh, every day there's a new twin flame reading, and every day there's a this on here, and I was consistently doing those things, I was much more lucrative, and it was good. And when you're lucrative and people are responding and you're getting likes and you're getting comments and you're getting good feedback, it's much easier to keep showing up. But because I got so fucking sick, because of that fucking narcissist piece of shit made me feel like I didn't want to be seen anymore, and I stopped being consistent and I stopped uploading on places, I'm back at square one, where it's a little bit less, like there's a little bit less motivation inside of me to want to fucking go upload onto all these places that I know 39,000 people are subscribed to, but only 10 of them are going to see it, and maybe 5 of them are going to like it, and maybe 1 of them is going to comment. But if I want to get back to there, I need to be consistent. I need to keep showing up, and I need to keep exploring, and I need to keep trying different things that I like to do, because I'm no longer aligning with the certain things that I was doing back then either. So that's part of the evolution too. There's layers to all of this stuff. It's not cut and dry. It's not all his fault. I also got Lyme disease. I also had like my own evolution and my own experience, and I felt like I don't want to be guiding people in the wrong way. I don't want to be attracting this stuff. The fact that that motherfucker showed up was like, okay, something's wrong here. And the fact that he was trying to paint himself as the divine masculine was even more like, no. I got some deep healing to do. So I took time to do some healing, and now I'm feeling better, and I'm feeling more aligned, and I'm doing what I feel like I'm supposed to be doing. Is it always right? Who knows? Will it get me somewhere? I believe so. But I don't know exactly where I'll be 5 years from now. I don't even know exactly where I'm going to be 5 fucking months from now. My life is like still chaotic. I still figuring things out, but I trust and I know that I'm going to get to where I need to go, and things are going to work out for me just like they always have. There's highs and there's lows in our lives, and it's up to us to keep trying and keep exploring. And when it comes to the guy that doesn't like you, who gives a fuck? If you feel that he doesn't like you, that's fine. You don't have to like him. Maybe there's something inside of you that doesn't like him that makes you feel that he doesn't like you. Maybe he's just uncomfortable because he picks up on that energy from you. Because what we put out is what we get back. So if you're like, this guy's weird, he doesn't seem like he likes me, he's probably thinking the same fucking thing about you. And if you like had to clear out, like, is there something I did, or is there something I'm doing that you don't like? You may find that he'd be like, oh my God, no, I thought you were thinking about that about me. I heard a little thing last night. It was kind of funny. A guy went on a first date with a woman, and there's a radio station out there that will call people. Like if you go on a date with somebody and then they just stop answering you, they ghost you, the radio station will call that person on behalf of the one that really liked you and is wondering why they stopped answering the phone or talking to them. So they call this guy up, and the girl who had got ghosted was like, I feel like he thought I was so boring, he didn't like me, like I feel like I just was boring. That's what she thought in her head, is that she was too boring for him, and that's why he stopped answering her and ghosted her. They call the guy up, and he's like asleep, first of all, and he's like, what's up? And they're like, do you remember blah, blah, blah? And he's like, yeah, I remember the blah. And they're like, well, when we call people who really liked you and want to know why you stopped answering, he's like, oh man, well, like, she was just doing too much. Like, she wanted to go to a walk to the grocery store, and then from the grocery store to here, and then from here to there, and then she wanted to go to a fucking movie, and there's just too much stuff in one day. That's like, I don't want to do that. And she also liked to hike, and that sounds horrible to me. So instead of just telling the woman, I don't want to go to the walk to the grocery store and then walk to dinner and then go see a movie, that's too many activities in one day for me, I don't really think I'm going to jive with you going on hikes, because I'm the type of dude that I just want to stay at home and have some nice soup and watch a little bit of movies on the TV. That's his flow, that's his thing, that's what he likes. But he didn't tell her that, so she's over there thinking, I'm boring, I'm way too boring. And meanwhile, the truth is, she's not boring at all. She's too overstimulating, she's too out there, she's doing way too much, and he's the one that's boring to her. So we have to realize sometimes when we're dealing with other people, we project onto them what we expect. We think that they're running away from us, or dissing us, or hating us, or doing whatever they're doing to us because of this, that, or the other thing. But that's all we can do is assume, and a lot of times our assumptions come out of projections. And a lot of times we're wrong, because we can't really know for sure unless we get in someone else's mind. So don't worry about it. And if you really truly feel like he doesn't like you, I think it's probably honestly just another manifestation of the fact that you don't really want to fucking be there, and you're looking for any more excuses to come up with the reason that I don't belong here. He don't like me, this don't feel right, blah blah blah. Just like you just said, all these places are it's never gonna work out for me, it's not good for me, because something in your soul is telling you it's not. So you got to listen to yourself and explore what is. And sometimes, yeah, that means like if I need to survive and make money in the meantime, I might have to put up with these shit jobs that I don't really like that much and kind of just get through there. But that should, every day that you go to that place that you can't fucking stand, use it as the motivation to have the consistency to the things that you do like, to figure out what it is that I really do want to do, and explore and try and keep showing up, even when there's only one like, even when there's only one comment, even when there's nobody showing up yet. You got to keep doing it. I started posting and doing things in 2015. It wasn't until 2019 that like I actually made money in my business through my own business. Before that, I was going to other people's businesses and helping them to run their social media and running events at their places and doing all these other things. I was building websites for people. But I liked I liked building websites. I liked doing social media stuff. I liked figuring that stuff out. So I was doing the things that I liked to do and needed to do, but then I took all of that information and all of that stuff that I gained along the way and put it into myself. And I did really well for like 4 years in a row. It was 70,000, 100,000, 120,000, and then crash. And now we're coming back up. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's how life is. That's how we gotta roll sometimes. But you're not gonna figure it out until you explore and show up and let these other things that are going on be the motivation to do it, to keep doing it, or sit your ass down. Like if you're working Monday through Friday 9 to 5, on Saturday and Saturday you should be batching content and batching things up so that you can roll those things out all day through the week, because you can schedule that stuff, you can put it out there. Or if that's not the way you want to go, if you want to do the writing thing, start getting that stuff out there again and promoting it and using the places that are available to us. And if you don't know what that means, start researching and figuring out what that means and how to make the best of it, how to make it happen. That's what I did from day 1 to day 2, and I continue to learn because it continues to evolve and the algorithms continue to fucking change and everything's getting crazier all the time, and there's more fucking people doing shit that nobody was doing back when I first started doing it. So there's like all this competition, but it should be motivation to try. And then let people know, let people know like, hey, I need a little bit of motivation. I need a little bit of recognition. I need a little bit of love. I need a little bit of acceptance. And my mom is a very strong person who has fought everyone and everything all her life. She would have died of neglect if she hadn't. Despite being her daughter, I'm too brittle to live in the real world. I can't always let other people pick the slack for me. I think I took my dad's genes though, because I am more like him than anyone I have known. Well, same here, man. My mom was a firecracker, crazy person. She was sick her whole fucking life. She was, molested. She was physically, mentally, emotionally abused. She had cancer. She was sick from the womb. She had rheumatic fever when she was 7. She was always fucking sick, and she was always in toxic situations. She was molested when she was a little girl. There's so many fucking things that went wrong, but she was still a fucking firecracker. She still outlived all of the things. Like 99% chance she would die. She fucking made it. But my dad, he's the water sign. He's the emotional guy. He's all into the spiritual stuff. He's spiritually awakening and doing all the weird shit that I do. But he's also very emotional, very depressed, very sad, very anxious. So I have a lot of that in me. But I also have the other part of me. And we can channel those both parts of us, Ask for a little bit of mom's energy to come through you so you can say, fuck you to these motherfuckers and keep pushing forward. Or she lives within you. But it may not necessarily be the best energy either. You need to figure out who you are individually on your own and what makes you feel good. Because you're depressed, you're anxious, you're sad, you're not feeling good, you're beating yourself up because you're beating yourself up. You believe in these things, you're telling yourself these things. You gotta stop telling yourself this shit. And I know it's hard, but you can do it. And I've seen you do it. And you get good quickly, but then you fucking down again. You gotta build yourself back up, and you gotta take your time and not rush, and you also gotta be consistent with it, and don't let the fucking triggers that trigger be so big of a trigger. And if you notice the triggers, process the triggers so that they don't keep triggering later down the line. So every time this motherfucker shows up, it's a little bit less impactful. Every time you go to a place that you don't really like, it's not as bad because you're telling yourself in the back of your head, instead of I'm stuck here and I hate it here and this is never going to work and nowhere else is ever going to work, I'm using this as motivation to figure out what does work for me, and I'm going to be independent. I'm going to do my own thing. I feel like you're somebody that does not really want to be in a 9-to-5. You don't want to be in a corporate setting. You just said it yourself. It's not the fucking place for you. You're a creative soul. You're intuitive. You have a gift inside of you that's meant to be expressed and lived, and it can't be where you are. So honor that and do that in the best way that you can, when you can, for now, until it can get to the point where it's bigger and bigger and bigger and it takes over, and you can be like, okay, my 9-to-5 is now some like part-time thing that I don't really like, just so I have enough to get by and, you know, continue to grow my little side gig here. And then the side gig will become your main gig, and then the other things will be a thing of the past. But you're fucking young. You have so much time ahead of you. There's so many other people in the sea. There's so many things out there that you can fucking do. And even just like where you are in the world with the finances and shit, you have such a huge potential in front of you because, but the thing is too, I've noticed like you'll put stuff out there at such a low price that other people aren't going to value it, but that's not because they don't realize that $5 in the US, which is like fucking nothing here, we can't get anything, we can't even get a burger with that here, is like $50 over there. So keep that in mind. Don't go for the $5 fucking shit. Like, if you're gonna go on Fiverr and do it there. It makes sense, whatever. But don't over fucking deliver to the point where they don't value it. And if you're gonna do it other places, like if you're gonna promote yourself on Instagram and shit, and your algorithm is hitting people who are in the United States, don't say $5 and expect them to value something that should be valued a little bit more. You know, look at the comparable people that are charging in those areas, and maybe a little bit lower than what they're doing, but not so low that they are like, no, that can't be valuable, because that's a lot of marketing. And I've been struggling with that myself. I need to get back to the point of like, I know my fucking value. I have over a decade of fucking experience in this shit. I should be charging a lot more than $5, $10 for the things that I do, because I know that the things that I do are valuable, life-changing, healing, and make a big difference in people's lives when they work with it and apply it. But if I put it out there as $10, they don't value it, so they don't ever buy it, so they don't ever experience it, so they don't fucking know. So keep that in mind when you're doing the things too, and keep trying to figure out what it is that you want to do. Nobody can tell you. I just saw the crossroads card here. You're at a crossroads and the journey is up to you. There's multiple choices and you have the free will and every opportunity in front of you, but you need to weigh the decision, weigh out the options, and then decide, what is it that makes sense for me? What's going to make my heart feel good? Where is it that I want to go? And the twin flame soulmate card just came out too. So you're going to have a deep soul connection with somebody that actually feels good to you when you stop entertaining all these other things that are around you that aren't feeling good to you. And I don't mean like him, I mean in general, like going to places that don't feel good to you, not loving yourself unconditionally, not supporting yourself in the way of like, this doesn't feel right to me, I'm not going to do it anymore. Like when you start really truly valuing yourself and putting yourself up on the pedestal, and these are messages I need to fucking hear too, that's when somebody else can do that for you as well. And I just got the mountain here, so there's obstacles in front of you, there's problems in front of you. The things may feel distant. Solitude may feel like, it's kind of far away. And sometimes our pride is blocking us. Sometimes we get a little bit cold and indifferent, and we cause even more barriers and interruptions towards what we're trying to have. But if you use the lion energy, you get a little bit authoritative, use that self-esteem and that ego in a healthy way, and ask for fear and just, and be devoted with heart-centered energy inside of you, you're going to attract the outcomes that you want. Now I get the sun. So use your creative energy. Go towards your purpose. And if you're not sure what that purpose is, it's just to be you, and it's to explore, and it's to live. That's what the purpose of life is to live and to enjoy and to create, and to not entertain things that feel icky, and to not entertain people that bring us down, and to not keep us stuck in the places that make our little inner child feel miserable. Let that inner child come out and feel happy. And if that inner child didn't have a happy childhood, be the mother for that inner child now, and set that up. Love that little girl inside so that she can blossom into the adult that she's meant to be. and cut the fucking shit out of your life that needs to be gone. The scythe is here. There's sudden, unexpected cuts and releases that need to happen so that you can liberate yourself. And then you're going to surprise yourself and have a new harvest of things that are like, wow, this is great. But you got to do it. And you got to stop going back into the things over and over again that are painful and are lessons that were just meant to help you to find your maturity and to evolve and to become more established. But the longevity is there for you, but the child within is also very important. Be carefree, start new things, see your creativity, be spontaneous. Like all the times that I was spontaneous and just did things because I was just doing them, those are the things that blew up the most. I started practicing tarot readings on my YouTube channel just because I wanted to practice tarot readings. I hadn't done them before. I was a certified angel reader and I was a Reiki healer and I had oracle readings under my belt, but I hadn't really done the tarot because I was intimidated. So I just started doing them and they blew up out of nowhere and became the biggest fucking thing I did. And then I opened my Etsy shop on a whim and wow, $100,000 later, that was a good idea to do, but I hadn't like planned it out. It wasn't a big thing. It was just a spur of the moment. Here I go. It feels right. And it was. And the same thing with the Divine Essentials channel. I never expected the Divine Essentials channel to grow at all. The fact that it went to 15,000 people so quickly was like, whoa. It was because I was doing the things that I felt like I wanted to do. And I was smart enough to know that I shouldn't put them on the Bridget Rao channel because the people on the Bridget Rao channel had taken it over at that point to only want twin flame, pick a card, pick a card, pick a card, twin flame, pick a card, pick a card, twin flame. So I was like, all right, I'll just go over here and do my Divine Essential stuff, my sound healing stuff, my Reiki stuff, the Monika stuff, the stuff that I like to do that doesn't feel like it doesn't have to fit into that consistency of these other things that other people are expecting. So if you start something somewhere and it no longer resonates for you, sometimes it's best to start from scratch somewhere else and not put big expectations on it from the beginning. Just allow yourself to create naturally. That's why I think Fiverr worked out for you so well, because you weren't really expecting so much of it. It was just a creative endeavor for you to try. Maybe there's somewhere else for you to try at this point that's going to feel better for you. But the Princess of Wands is here, and that's all about creativity, and the Princess of Cups is here too, and it's about emotional like vulnerability and being happy and like, yeah, this is what I'm going to do. And the Six of Pentacles is about balancing those things, remembering what you give is what you get. 12-12 on my clock here. And the Six of Wands is about victory. It's time to spark a new beginning. Ace of Wands, it's time for you to, yeah, and I just split again and got the Princess of Wands again, which is the Page of Wands. It's time to get more creative and explore. And there's that Princess of Cups again as I fucking split again. She's riding a dolphin. Listen to the vulnerable emotions inside of yourself. Listen to the creativity inside of yourself. Spark something new somewhere that can grow, but don't do it just be like, don't put big expectations on yourself. Not even in the mundane shit. Like, you're at a job right now. It doesn't mean you're there forever. Don't make it be a big, heavy thing on you. Just know that it's temporary. It's for right now. It's a paycheck. It's helping to motivate me to remember that this isn't the life for me, and I'm going to figure out what the life for me is, but I'm going to do it enjoying myself, having a fucking good time, doing the things that feel right to me and that I know that I'm good at and people like. King of Pentacles, that's how you're going to become the King of Pentacles, and it's a balancing act. There's going to be good and bad. There's going to be highs and lows. There's going to be times where we fuck up, and there's going to be times where we do really well. But be vulnerable, be expressive, and don't let the world fucking harm you. All right, so yep, there's the sun. Listen to the little girl inside of you, and don't let the darkness overtake you.